I'm Jordan Hatfield. This is Faster Film Critic. Today on the show, we talk Tron Ares with Kolter and Chase Fugel. Tron Ares is a 2025 action sci-fi directed by Joachim Roning, starring Jared Leto, Greta Lee, and Evan Peters. So grab your white LED-lit spandex and let's motor on down to the arcade. Get in! We're going cinephilin'. Kolter, Chase, welcome to the pod. We're talking Tron Ares. You guys excited?
Wait, I can't hear you guys.
Oh, no.
Is my mic working?
Oh, no. It's Dillinger Systems. They're derailing our whole show here. Check, check, check. You can't hear me? Nobody? All right, well, give me a second. I'm going to dive into the grid and see if I can get this thing fixed. One sec. And we're back from the grid. We've conquered. We've won. Faster Film Critic is up and running, and we are no longer dealing with technical difficulties. Everybody good?
I hope so.
Yeah, are we? Yep, sure.
It's Tron time.
Ready.
Good, good, good. Guys, I'm excited to hear what you think of Tron Ares.
Tron? More like yawn.
I'm excited to hear what you think of it.
Jan Ares. Okay, okay. Here we go.
Sorry, but...
Before we jump into all Kolter's negativity, I got a really cool story to tell you guys.
Oh, okay.
All right.
The date is April 6th, 2024.
Oh.
I'm at a financial conference in Vancouver, Canada.
Setting the stage.
And the conference ends, and I decide I want to go catch a movie. It's late. I'm all by my onesie. I look it up on Google. There's a theater a little over a mile away. I thought to myself, hey, I'm going to go catch a movie. I'm going to walk. It's not that far. Get some exercise, see the town. So I head out. I'm walking along. I'm a couple blocks away from my hotel, and I start to see these big semi-trucks, and they're unloading all this production equipment. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. All these guys schlepping gear on the street corner. Not something you see every day. Well, I go walking on down the street, and I come across someone from the crew. And I think to myself, I'm in Canada. Everyone's here super nice, not like the United States. I'm going to ask these guys what they're doing. So I turn to them and I say, hey, what are you guys working on, eh? And they say, we're working on a movie. And immediately this catches my attention. So like any annoying American that can't mind their own business, I ask, what movie are you guys working on? And they say, it's a low-budget film for Disney. It's called Kaleidoscope.
Oh, the code name.
Kaleidoscope? Okay, so I immediately turn to IMDb. And I can't find a 2024, 2025 film Kaleidoscope anywhere. And I'm thinking, if this is in production, it's got to be on IMDb. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Maybe I misheard him. I don't know. I keep walking, but I'm thinking about it. Well, I come across another crew guy. And my curiosity gets the best of me. And I'm like, wait, what are you guys filming? And he says, oh, it's a film called Kaleidoscope. It's kind of a low-budget film. I doubt you'd heard of it. And I was like, okay, something's fishy here, right?
Yeah.
This isn't right. But they're not going to tell me, so whatever. So I go catch my movie, Monkey Man, by the way, with Dev Patel.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Indian John
okay.
Wick.
Movie ends, and I'm walking back, and there's a lot more production out now. In fact, the road is closed. I can't even walk back to my hotel.
Sure.
And I'm obviously not familiar with the area, but I hang a left, and now I'm walking down this street, and then I cut through like a business park, and I get over to the next street, and all of a sudden I hear someone yell, hey, you can't be here. And I turned, and it's some crew guy coming at me, and he's like, we're in the middle of filming, and you just walked on set. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get to my hotel. I'm unfamiliar with the area. What do I do?
That was their failure.
Right? But I ask him, what do I do? And he says, well, it's too late now. You got to come stand over here. And I'm like, all right. So I'm walking back over to him, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to embarrass myself like this. And he says, well, actually, do you want to see something really cool? So, of course, I say, yeah. And so he's like, okay, follow me. So he starts walking to the other intersection. And I'm like, so, by the way, what are you guys filming? And he says, we're filming the new Tron film, Tron Ares. And I'm like, oh, this is rad. Okay. And he's like, you got to be really quiet, but this is you're going to like this. I'm like, all right. So we walk to the intersection. I say, hey, can I film it? Can I pull out my phone and video? And he's like, sure. Just make sure you're quiet. So I pull out my phone and I start filming it. And everybody's silent. There's no cars. There's no movement. The city is dead.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, these two light cycles roll up. And I'm like, whoa, dude, there they are. They're the two light cycles, right?
Yeah.
They pull up and they sit and they're just waiting and everyone's waiting. All of a sudden, someone yells action and it just comes to life. All of a sudden, these cars just all at the same time start driving through the intersection.
Yeah.
The light cycles start flying down the road. They hang a left at the intersection. And right after they go through this intersection, this big car coming through the intersection hits a jump, comes off the ground, completely flips, crashes into another car, and spins. And I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, dude! I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
caught it all on tape, right? I just walked into this.
Oh, that is cool.
All of a sudden, we hear, we got it! And everybody starts cheering.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
And I was like, holy cow, I just totally walked onto the set of Tron Ares.
That's cool, man.
That's so sick.
You gonna send us that video?
I still have the video. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
yeah, I
I
wanna
could
see it.
post to a podcast, I would. I'd post it to you, but I'll send it to you guys. And anyone else who wants to see it, email me, fasterfilmcritic@gmail.com, and I'll send
Yeah,
it to you.
that-
It's rad. So then I go back to my hotel, and it's like midnight. I go to bed, and like an hour later, I hear these sirens out on the street. So I
Yeah.
wake up, and I open the curtains, and I look down. They've moved the production towards the intersection by my hotel.
Yeah.
And I sat there for like an hour and a half and watched them, just light cycles just down the road. And there was clearly
Yeah.
the car chase scene. And it was really cool. And so I've been excited
bet.
for Tron Ares. I've been excited to sit down and watch for this scene.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
It was sick, man. It was way sick. I was really excited. If you remember the scene where Greta Lee, in the film, she's Eve, she's being chased by Athena.
Yeah.
And if you remember, she runs into the parking garage,
Yeah.
and there's that spiral street that goes up.
Yeah.
Eve knocks Athena down a couple levels, and Athena's running up that spiral street to catch her. Eve jumps on the light cycle, and boom, she takes off.
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene, the light cycle chase scene? Ares is chasing Eve. They're whipping through the city.
Yeah.
They come up to a stoplight, hang a left. There's an accident. Do you remember the scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Dude, that was it. That was the
No
scene.
way.
Yeah, it's fun to catch something.
It
Like
was
that.
really
Crazy, but
cool.
So what was better, that or the movie?
He's setting you up.
He did set me up. But from that point forward, I've always referred to this film as Kaleidoscope. So apparently
Yeah.
the insiders, the guys in the know, this isn't Tron Ares, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Kaleidoscope.
The real title.
Yeah, you see signs all over LA, yellow signs,
Yeah.
specifically a yellow sign that'll say something this way, and it's never the real thing.
So Kolter, you thought Kaleidoscope was a snooze?
Dude, bruh,
I'm
man,
with Kolter on this one.
I was bored out of my goddamn mind for all of this movie. It made me wish I had taken mushrooms before I went in there. I don't do a lot of that stuff.
I was thinking the same thing. If I was coked up and could keep pace with this, I would have liked it a lot more.
Yeah, man, but it's just
Okay.
Is Disney on a quest to ruin all of their IPs? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I cannot understand it.
Are you guys fans of the Tron franchise?
I mean, you know, the first was kind of a pioneer in terms of effects. It wasn't the most exciting story in the world, but it was trying to do something new, and it was interesting visually. You know, the second one was just trying to kind of make a more modern version of that. Daft Punk worked really well for that movie, as did Nine Inch Nails for this one.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I just couldn't care about any of the characters in this. The story is just thin as paper.
Yeah.
Good God, man. The lead actress is just a plank of wood in this movie. So early on, man, when there was like her and her buddy doing, I started picking my nose, and then I was more entertained trying to get that booger off my finger than anything I was watching her do in the theater, man. I literally was like, this is so much more fun than watching this movie.
Can I ask you a question, Kolter? Can I interrupt and ask you a question?
Yeah.
Where did you decide to wipe it?
Well, I tried to just flick it for a while. You know, it was a sticky one. That's what made it so entertaining. I was like, do I wipe this on my pants? Do I just keep trying to roll it up till it dries up enough so I can just flick it onto the floor?
Flick it onto the screen.
I was way more
Gross.
concerned with what was going on with that booger than I
Gross.
was with any scene she was in.
So be honest, ultimately, did you decide to just eat it?
Yeah, that would have been a better experience than 3/4 of this movie.
You were that bored?
So I watched Tron, the original Tron from 1982,
Sure.
just this week. I had never seen it before.
Oh, really?
I saw it
Okay.
about a week ago.
Okay.
I agree the story in that film is really simplistic
Yeah.
and thin
Yeah.
and has serious weaknesses.
Sure.
But I was absolutely mesmerized by the technology in the first
Yeah.
film.
It was cool.
It is so dated, and yet in its time, it was so innovative.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, that
Yeah.
experience was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it was cool.
If you haven't seen Tron in a long time or never seen Tron, you've got to go check it out. At least the first half of that film.
Yeah.
I was just blown away by the visual graphics, the CGI. And again, this was a pioneer in digital cinema.
Yeah.
And
it was cool.
it was just wild. So then I go watch Tron Legacy. And the first time I saw Tron Legacy was when it came out. I probably saw it in theaters, and I didn't care too much for it.
Right.
But in the context of the original, having just watched the original, I actually really enjoyed Legacy. Now, I will say I watched it with my 2 younger children,
Yeah.
and they were super into it, and so
Sure.
that makes it more fun.
Yeah.
So maybe there was a little bit of external pressure there to enjoy it, but I did enjoy it. I really liked Tron Legacy. I had a lot of fun with it. It has a lot of the same weaknesses and story and that, but it's very Disney. Tron
Yeah.
Legacy is very Disney, and that is not a compliment, right?
Yeah.
The way they go through their storytelling is not
Right.
ideal. But I had a good time in Tron Legacy, and so I was excited for Ares. Plus, I had the experience in Vancouver where I saw some of
Sure.
the filming, so
Little
that added
connection.
some excitement.
Yeah.
And 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah. You're a
Oh, I
fan.
want to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a surprisingly good time in Tron Ares. I thought this film was more fun than it had any business being.
Really?
I was engaged the entire time.
Okay. I'm glad you had that
I can't-
experience.
I did, and I'm bummed you guys didn't.
It was really disappointing when this movie ended, but especially when I looked over to my mom and sister and they loved it.
Wow.
And I was thinking, what did I miss? I wish I had liked it as much as they did.
Yeah.
So this is not a type of movie that I typically like. I'm usually one that's very critical on writing and
Yeah.
on story, and if those things aren't present, man, I'm usually going to hate the film.
Yeah.
Everybody knows at this point that I'm not a Marvel fan, and the weaknesses in Marvel are very similar to the weaknesses in Tron.
Sure.
But for some reason, man, I had a good time in this one, and so far I've enjoyed this whole universe.
No, that's good, man. I mean, I'm genuinely happy you had that experience.
No, you're not. Shut up, dude. You wanted me to hate it.
Yeah, and I am.
So let's talk about cinematography.
Okay.
Let's talk about the visuals in this film. What did you guys think
Yeah.
of the film visually?
Visually, it was great.
Yeah.
A lot of time, these movies with so much CGI end up looking too clean and it feels like uncanny, a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But this one, I didn't feel that with this one. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. I think they kind of got the formula wrong. I think it's more interesting when we go into that world as opposed to characters of the Tron universe coming into the real world. I don't think it's as interesting. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. I mean, yeah, the effects hold up. I always wonder what happens to those light trails that are left over, though. Is it just like people tripping into that shit and driving into it and flying planes into it when all the action's done?
That's a good question.
Do those things just stay there for all of time?
No, dude. They only exist in the real world for 30 seconds
wondering.
without the permanence code.
Yeah.
No, they disappear. They fade.
Well, they got the permanence code now.
Sadly.
So, how would you rate the film from a visual standpoint? Let's take it one step at a time. How does the film work for you visually?
Like I said, the visuals were awesome. But
Amazing.
The cuts were all over the place. It was rare that we got a shot that was any longer than 5 seconds.
yeah.
Any situation that they had going on, it was new angles every 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Just a little overstimulating.
Yeah.
I'll quote John Waters, and he said, if you walk away from a movie and all you have to say about it is that the cinematography was great, then it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
But the visuals and audio was an amazing technical feat.
Yeah. It's colorful noise, the movie.
So, I agree with that. I think there's a couple elements that are required in any movie that's great.
Yeah.
Number one, we have to have great writing. We have to have a great story.
Yeah.
You can't have a great movie without great writing. It's a prerequisite. It has to happen. I think you have to have great actors.
Which this film did have. They were just so underused. For example, Evan Peters in the Netflix series Dahmer
Yeah.
gives a chilling performance. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
But this, it just feels like you said, Kolter, like a plank of wood.
Gillian Anderson, same thing. Like,
Yeah,
why even have her in the movie?
both really one note.
I think Greta Lee is a fantastic actress. If you have not seen Past Lives, she has got some emotional depth and a range that's in that movie that is absolutely mind-blowing. She's fantastic in Past Lives.
Doesn't that make this so much more disappointing?
'Cause
Because
we'll
it's
get
like
there.
right there.
Yeah, if you hadn't told me that, I would have thought. I mean, I wouldn't believe that if you hadn't have said that to me.
Yeah, dude, check out Past Lives. She is inspiring
Okay.
in Past Lives.
Okay.
Jared Leto, however,
Why do they keep putting him in stuff?
a lot of people hate Jared Leto, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Don't mistreat women, you know?
Yeah.
The next characteristic a great film must have is cinematography.
Sure.
Is it though?
You don't think?
Let's think about this. Is it required for a movie to be great?
Yes, absolutely, I would say. If you have bad cinematography, it will take you out of the film. You don't have to have cinematography that's front and center. You know, I think of The Revenant. I think of All Quiet on the Western Front. I think There Will Be Blood. You don't have to have that quality of cinematography, but if you're going to have a great movie, you have to have good cinematography. Absolutely.
But a movie that you loved that I didn't really like was The Blair Witch Project.
Ah, the king of all found footage films.
Terrible cinematography. That's as bad as it gets.
I totally disagree.
What?
I totally disagree with you. I think the cinematography in The Blair Witch is fantastic. Again, big, beautiful, sweeping landscapes does not good cinematography make. We're not talking about Lawrence of Arabia here. The Blair Witch has its own unique style, and the cinematography in that film fits that story perfectly. It is in service of the story, of the movie. And if you change that cinematography in any way, you have a lesser movie.
Yeah.
So the cinematography has to be in service of the story. Blair Witch does that magnificently.
Well, I don't think this cinematography is in service of the story. It's not doing anything other than covering it up.
So I would entirely disagree with that statement. I think the most impressive aspect of Tron is this world. It's the grid. And if you take the grid away, the movie can't stand on its story alone. It is the visual effects of this film that make the franchise what it is. Without it, you don't have a movie. And that's true for all Tron films, by the way.
No, the visuals and the music is the only thing that makes this movie remotely interesting.
And then the other thing that I would say that a good movie has to have is sound design.
Yeah,
Score, right?
Yeah.
So we got story, writing, narrative is 1. We've got actors as 2. We've got cinematography as 3. And then we've got sound design, soundtrack as 4.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that absolutely has to be required for a great movie to be great?
No, I mean, characterization, but I think that goes hand in hand with the writing.
Sure.
But yeah, you need a good story. You need characters you care about or that are at least interesting. They don't even necessarily have to have arcs. They just have to be interesting. That kind of applies to like one battle after another. None of the characters had arcs in it, but they were interesting enough they didn't need to. So that's okay sometimes. Yeah, the cinematography, I do agree with you, Jordan, a little bit there, or quite a bit, and that how you shoot a scene, how you use camera angles, and there's a big difference between like low angle shots and high angle shots, wide shots, close-ups, claustrophobics, all that stuff kind of complements the mood or the feeling of a certain movie. And if that's lacking, your story, your characters, no matter how good they are, won't have the punch that it needs without it being shot well.
Yeah.
And you need an effective score to amplify or highlight a feeling or emotion that you're going for sure. So, yeah, I think those are the main pillars of what makes an effective story.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that those 4 things are required for a great movie to be great. If any one of those 4 is missing, you can't have a great movie.
Yeah.
There are other aspects of filmmaking that are very important, like message, for example, that I love and look for and appreciate in film, but it isn't necessarily required for a great movie.
No.
So again, there's a lot of other important aspects, but those are the 4. If we apply those 4 to Tron Ares, I think it fails with the story, the writing.
Yes.
I don't think it's got a great story.
No.
I don't think this film scores any points for acting. I don't think the acting here was great. Not that the actors weren't great. There were some actors here that are very talented, not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that talent wasn't able to come through, be it the script, be it the director, be it what they had for breakfast. The talent didn't come through. I think the acting here is weak. I'm not going to check that box.
I actually haven't seen the other 2 Tron movies. So seeing Jeff Bridges in this, it didn't feel like seeing him back from the old movies. It literally just felt like seeing the dude from The Big Lebowski. They just kept getting him to say man after everything.
I hear you. But that is Kevin Flynn.
Yeah.
You can't blame Ares for that. You've got to see Tron 1. You've got to see Tron Legacy. This is Jeff Bridges' character in these films. So I think he's very accurate to that. And by the way, I don't like Tron Legacy and I don't like Tron Ares nearly as much without the context of Tron 1. I really believe in order to enjoy this franchise, you have to see Tron 1 And that bleeds into Tron Legacy and Tron Ares in spirit. Even if there isn't consistency through the narrative in all these films, and there's not, there's a lot of things that are abandoned and a lot of things that are introduced without a lot of explanation. But I do think the context of the original adds a lot to this universe.
Yeah.
I think you got to start there.
I was surprised by how much I was able to take away from this movie. I knew there was 2 more before it, but I didn't feel like I was missing much.
Well, you don't need to see Tron 1 to understand Legacy, and you don't need to really see either of them to understand Ares. In some way, these films sit on their own. I think Ares is worse than the other two in the sense that the narrative isn't contained all in one film. You know, there are teasers of the next. There are things that are left unexplained, and there's more coming. And I don't like that. I'm tired of doing that, and Disney seems to do this more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Legacy is its own movie. Tron is its own movie. Ares less so. I think that's a weakness of the film. But I do think the foundation of the original Tron bleeds into these other two and really provides an appreciation that you don't otherwise have. So I think you're doing yourself a disservice by seeing this film if you haven't seen the other two. But I do want to focus on the cinematography and the soundtrack. I thought the cinematography was incredible. I think the soundtrack was absolutely exceptional. Now, I know I'm a Nine Inch Nails fan, and I know not everybody is, but the way that Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross captured the spirit of this universe through the music, to me, was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
And in this film, the music is really front and center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the music is all the way through, and the music is immersing you in this world in a way that most soundtracks don't.
Sure.
And I thought that was awesome. You know, I went with my father, who is not a Nine Inch Nails fan, and he's also not one to placate me. He's not going to tell me what he thinks I want to hear. And probably 8 times, 4 times during the movie and 4 times after, he said, "Man, the soundtrack in this is good."
It was
and
good.
my point is, no, it doesn't have a great story, and no, it doesn't have great acting. These 2 pillars are required for a great film. But it does have incredible visuals, and it has an incredible soundtrack, and these are the other 2 pillars of a great film, which means it can't be a great film, but it can still be a decent one.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely argue that point, but so some of these visuals and the music, all it did, like the music in particular in this, it does elevate the material a bit, but all I kept thinking was, good God, man, if this had characters I gave a shit about or in a story that was interesting, this music would just be so impactful. Like it would infuse the movie with so much energy. And it almost gives you a false sense that something cool is about to happen, and then it just fizzles out. It was such an odd, I just don't, man, Disney just sucks. They cannot do anything right anymore.
I mean, I agree. The writing is bad. The acting wasn't amazing. And if you lose those other 2, the cinematography and the soundtrack, the film loses a lot.
Sure.
It loses everything.
Yep.
But I found the soundtrack and the visuals of this film to be enough to entertain me. This is not a great film. It's missing 2 of the 4 required elements of great filmmaking. But I thought the 2 that were present were enough, coupled with the story that is just good enough and the acting that is just good enough to hold my attention to this film. So I had a good time. I felt like this film was more fun than it had any business being. I came out of it surprised, and I thought it was a good time. So take that, losers.
I don't understand this break free from the simulation trope. It's the same thing we saw with Free Guy and Barbie, and it just feels so soulless. They're trying to tackle a theme that feels so quote-unquote human, even though it's not at all. I don't know. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, I unfortunately that's where I'm at too. Is I'm just tired of it. It's especially with Disney, what they're doing too here. It's like they're just. I mean, the title Tron. I don't even think. And if the character Tron, who was in the original Tron, obviously, was even in Legacy. I don't remember it. And there's really no reason to call this new one Tron. Like that character is not even. He was like a kind of like a guiding character that kind of allied with Flynn in the first one. And then 2, wasn't there a character in Legacy that kind of got out of the grid and is living in the real world and has been fine beyond 29 minutes? Like that whole thing, it just didn't make any sense. Like,
Yeah, so
was-
Tron does make an appearance in Legacy. It's very brief. And
Okay.
Korra is who you're referring to. She's an isomorphic algorithm in Legacy.
yeah.
And she makes it out into the real world.
Yeah.
That entire storyline is absent from
Right.
Ares. Though there is a small teaser if you're paying attention.
Yeah, it's just odd that they completely decided that. And they've been doing this. They've been doing this with their Star Wars products. They just forget what happened before and just treats us audience like we're all idiots and just moves ahead with their new product that, and they just keep falling flat. But
It's weird. It's like they know the Tron name is going to do a lot better in box office, but they still want to kind of listen to the people who want original stories. So they're just going to throw everything else out the window except for the name because they want to make as much money as they can.
I got to push back on you guys a little bit on this. I hear what you're saying about the writing, and I hear what you're saying about the bad acting. I hear that. But this is a Tron film in the sense that it takes place in the universe. I mean, I think of Ridley Scott and Covenant.
yeah,
Covenant, is it an alien movie? Is it not an alien movie? He didn't call it Alien Covenant, but it's part of the Alien franchise.
yeah.
I mean, it is an alien movie. I
Sure.
think that's what they're doing here. It's Tron, Ares. This is about Ares, who is a program within the Tron universe. I don't think you can ditch the Tron and
Yeah.
just call it Ares. Or everyone's like, this is a total ripoff of Tron. I mean,
Yeah.
it exists in the same universe.
No, I get it. Only because I didn't like Alien Covenant either. It's right. I would have the same complaints about a movie like that I would this, and it's just that.
Well, at least you're consistent. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Do you know who's consistent in this movie? Seth Flores, the comedic
Yeah.
relief. He didn't make me laugh once.
Well, I have a feeling I know where this is going, but I'm going to go ahead and ask anyway. Let's go ahead and rate Tron Ares on a scale of 1 to 5. What do you guys give it?
You know, I think I'm a lot more interested to see how Kaleidoscope would have turned out. This is a 1-star for me.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep this one short and sweet. This movie's probably a 4 on mushrooms. It's a 1 without 9 Inch Nails. It's a 2 with them. Unfortunately, the music was impactful and cool enough. I thought, oh, God damn it, this would have been so much. It's just such a shame when they pair great music with great kind of visual or a visual style. I'm like, man, that would work so well if this was even a little bit interesting. But I don't know why they keep giving Jared Leto work.
Yeah. I thought Morbius would have ended it.
Yeah, I don't think he's been in anything worth a shit in a minute, but yeah, if you're going to use actors, you better hire a director who knows how to direct the actors. And otherwise, why would you just put good actors in a movie and have it go nowhere? So, I mean, some of the action was really cool. And I think, pretty sure, obviously, some of the effects, I thought some of the light cycles were practical. That's always nice and appreciated.
Yeah.
But, dude, the last 45 minutes, I had my head in my hand, and I was just like, please hurry up. I'm over this. Because if I don't have characters that I care about or a story I care about, I just completely disassociated with anything, even if it's visually interesting going on. It's like, oh man, all this is in service of nothing, unfortunately. And I just thought it was a boring slog, which is too bad, because at least with Legacy, I was like, you had Daft Punk, which I think might have lent itself sound-wise a little bit better to that movie than 9 Inch Nails did for this movie. If you had the right filmmakers in charge of this, you could have had a banger, I think, with 9 Inch Nails as, doing the score for this, because that was beyond the visuals. I thought the music was the best part of this movie. 4 on shrooms, 1 without 9 Inch Nails, 2 with them.
So I agree with a lot of what you guys have said. I do think this score is better than the Daft Punk score. Call me crazy. I do think it needs better writing. I do think it needs better acting. But there was a lot in this film that I liked. I loved the throwback to the 80s Tron on the grid. I loved the recognizer coming through the city. I thought that was just absolutely rad. I thought some of the action was super cool. I thought it was visually stunning. I had more fun in this film than I should have had. I'm going to give this film a 3. Again, it is missing too much to be any better than that. But I did have more fun in this than I do with a lot of other movies I rate a 3. Again, context, people. Context. Like, this is a film in the Tron franchise. You're not going to get anything better than we've already got. But I do think this film was fun, and we want to know, what did you think of Tron Ares? Please tell us.
All right, if you saw Greta Lee in Tron Ares and thought to yourself, wow, this performance has all the emotional range of a vending machine, then you're going to want to do yourself a favor and watch Past Lives. Hey, we just spent the last half an hour crapping on Jordan's take of Tron, and we're going to do him a solid in this week's recommendation. And I'll be completely upfront with you. I haven't seen this movie, but Jordan likes it. I'm going to safely say he endorsed this recommendation. And from what I can tell and what I've heard, Greta Lee is much better in this movie, Past Lives. She delivers a quietly devastating performance that feels like it was hand-delivered from another universe where subtlety still matters. So if you have not seen Past Lives and want to see Greta Lee in a movie outside of Tron, where she actually gets to flex her acting prowess, go check out Past Lives.
Thank you for listening to Faster Film Critic, and please join us next time when we talk the 1984 classic Ghostbusters. You can also follow us on Letterboxd, Cinetrack, and Instagram. Email us at fasterfilmcritic@gmail.com. Hit us up with questions, comments, feedback, or review requests, and share this episode with your movie-loving friends.